silent.
Just eat.
This is a good time to start practicing chopsticks, right?
No.
What's the interview for? Is it school project?
Okay.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for your time. I know you have a very big schedule.
No worries, mate.
So should we get on to the first question?
Go for it.
Okay, why did you want to get a pilot's license?
A pilot's license. Well, I've always loved flying since I was very small. And my dad had a pilot's license, and then my older brother got one before me. So it was in the family, but I always wanted to fly. And I thought it was a chance also to be able to fly myself to gigs and get around. So, but mostly it's because I love it.
Okay. I would have been contacting
Yeah, it's great.
you. What did it feel like when you conducted the world's biggest band of 7,224 musicians?
It was great. It was a relief because we didn't know if it would work. So we had 7,224, I think, people there. And we'd made all this publicity about we're going to have the world's biggest orchestra. So it was important that it worked. But we didn't know if it would. Nobody knew if you could play with that many people because it had never been done.
Okay.
So it was great when it worked.
What is your best performance memory?
Best performance memory. That's hard because they're for different reasons. You could say one of the biggest things is like playing for the opening of the Olympic Games. You know, they said there were 1 billion people watching. Not many jazz clubs will seat 1 billion people. But then there are other things like the first time I did a solo when I was 8. You know, and that's, how can anything be bigger than that feeling? So it's hard to pick one. There are those highlights. They're usually because it's big or because it's the first time you've done something. So I don't think I could pick one.
Oh, okay. So maybe, what is your
Worst performance memory? That's hard to say. I think there was one gig I did where I didn't have a band, and they got some people that weren't really jazz musicians, and we had to do this concert because the person who was on got sick. And they got me at the last minute, but I said, well, I don't have a band ready, and they said, it's okay, we've got some people. And they weren't jazz musicians, and they couldn't really play what I was playing. So that was hard because I had to grab pieces of paper backstage and a pen and write out everything I wanted them to play. That was hard, but the worst thing was, once I'd done that, I had to remember what I'd written.
Yeah.
I'm used to just playing and having them follow me, and they would play whatever was on the paper, no matter what. So that was a tough performance.
What advice do you have for me for my audition in 3 weeks to go to the Con High?
Audition to go to the Con High. Well, with any audition, the main thing, you want to know what they're looking for, right, and show that about you. Like if you were going to audition to play in a classical orchestra, it wouldn't be that much use going in and playing a great jazz solo, if you know what I mean. But having said that, I would say make sure you are you though. That you're never at your best when you're going, now what do they want? It's better to say, here's what I'm about, and then you'll show you yourself at your best. And if you're auditioning for something that does suit you, it'll be fine.
Okay,
You know, so yeah, so just be you.
What is the most important thing to do to be a great brass player?
To be a great brass player, oh, be good looking. No, that's not true. To be a great brass player, it's the same as being a great anything player. Spend a lot of time with the instrument, you know, play a lot. And particularly with brass, anything different to something else, you're trying to develop muscles here that you don't use for much else. I mean, you talk and you eat with them, but nothing like the strength you need to play. So you've got to play your instrument a lot. Piano, your fingers were made to do this anyway, right? But brass, I don't know if our lips were ever supposed to go, but they can. So you've got to do it a lot. I guess that's just the same old advice you could have got from anyone. Practice a lot. But I rather prefer to say play a lot.
Okay, thank you. What is your favourite piece of music?
I don't have a favourite piece of music because, particularly as a jazz musician, it's how you play it, not the piece of music. And that changes from night to night. So tonight my favourite piece might be We're going to play, what's one of the songs we're going to play? We're going to play this really old song called Love is a Many Splendid Thing. We've never played it before. So that might be my favourite song tonight. But that doesn't mean it'll be my favourite song tomorrow night. So it depends on how the song goes and what we do with it.
Yeah. Okay. What is your favourite type of trumpet?
Favourite type of trumpet? Do you mean like brand or?
Yeah.
Well, I play a Schargel. It's an Austrian company. I played Yamahas for many years and they're really good. But I got to the stage where I wanted to try some different stuff. And I needed a much smaller company that could sort of, you could say, hey, make me one trumpet like this. Now, Yamaha make trumpets. If you say, can we make one like this? They say, we'll have to make 5,000 of them. You know, will 5,000 people want one? So I got with a company that hand makes instruments so we can try different things. So, yeah, the best trumpet for me is a Schargel.
Yeah. Okay. Do you name your instrument?
I never did, but Schargel likes naming instruments. They said to me, what do we call this one? So I had to start thinking of names. So one of the horns I'll play tonight is called the Raven. And I have a flugelhorn whose name is Jean. That's a long story. But mostly I don't name them. But yeah, some of my Schargels do have names.
Okay. How long do you practice each day?
So there's two answers to this question. The answer I should give you so that you do lots of practice, and there's the truth. I don't practice. I stopped practicing a long time ago because I'm touring and playing all the time.
Okay.
So I don't need to practice anymore. But I did play a lot. And really the answer to the question you didn't ask, which is how much should I practice? You know what I mean? You said how much do I practice? But really, for everyone else, they want to know how much should they practice. The answer to that question is how good do you want to be? The better you want to be, the more you'll play your instrument.
Oh, okay. How do you motivate yourself when you didn't feel like practicing?
Listen to some music.
Okay.
Yeah, if you listen to something, and if you don't like that, then listen to something else. Then if you just listen to things, if you've got an iPod, flick through them or whatever, if you're on the radio, and you hear something you like, it makes you feel like playing. So listen to music. It's kind of like if you don't know what you want to eat, and you go, I don't know, what are we going to have for lunch? But if you wander into a food court and then you smell things, you go, I want pizza, or I want this because I just smelled it. It's kind of like that. You've got to listen to something and go, oh, I want to play like that. Then you go and pick your instrument up.
Wow. Okay. What's the most inspiring piece you've played?
Inspiring piece. That's hard to answer because it's kind of like the question before, depends on how we play it. But particularly inspiring are some of the great classical composers. You know, Bach. It's hard to be more inspiring than Bach. So let's go with that. It's not a piece, but it's a composer.
Wow. Wow, this piece is really good. Which type of instrument did you start on?
I started on the piano.
Really?
Piano first, yep.
Oh.
And then the cornet in a brass band. That was the next one. I wanted to play the trombone, but they gave me a cornet. That's fine.
Okay. What is the best thing about teaching at your...
The best thing about teaching is when people are learning something, particularly music, there are times when they get really inspired. And I sort of say it's like when the lights come on. You know what I mean? If you see a dark building and the lights come on, people are like that when they get inspired. The best thing is being there when that happens. If you're teaching someone, you've got a really good chance of being there when that happens. Yeah, being there when they get inspired, because it's very inspiring for you.
Okay. Yeah, it is. What did your boats ever break? Like a big...
Not big ones. I had some small boats that broke, but no big ones ever broke, thank goodness. I thought they might sometimes, but no, not yet.
What was your favourite subject in high school?
In high school, lunch. Other than that, my favourite subject, I quite like science.
Science.
Probably not because of the study we were supposed to be doing. I probably liked it because we got to light fires and stuff, you know, and blow things up and yeah, boil things, and it was fun doing all that. I like the idea of doing that.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I liked woodwork a lot too because we made a boat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like woodwork.
Yeah.
Well,
Have you made a boat?
well, I'm not in high school yet, but
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, but I really want to do woodwork.
Yeah.
Great. And I made a timeline, but there's some questions that weren't into.
Okay. What do you need to know?
So, what's your parents' name?
My parents' name. My mum's name is Jessie.
Jessie.
Jessie, and my dad's name is George.
Okay. How old when you built your first boat?
I think I was 8.
8.
It wasn't a very good boat. It sank.
Oh, okay. How old were you when you first flew a plane?
My first flew a plane. Do you mean like with a license or just had to fly?
Well, how to fly.
Had to fly with my dad. I would have been, I'm thinking about 12.
12.
Yeah.
And how old were you when you obtained your
Pilot's license, I was 23.
Like, there's one more question. So, how old were you how many years ago do you think when you were made a doctor of music?
So what's the actual question?
It says here, how old were you when you were made a doctor?
Oh, how old was I? First doctor of music, I'm going to guess about 43. I think it was about 10 years ago, and I'm 53 now.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
No worries, you're welcome. Great, mate. All right, I hope it all comes out well for you.
Thank you.
All right.